Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Secretly Done. So today's video is about Ares versus Zeus. The reason why I chose Ares to fight Zeus because Ares is the only god that is even close to Zeus's powers. So that's why I chose Ares and not anyone else like Hades or Poseidon because they are his brothers. So without wasting any time, let's start. So first we will talk about Ares because most of the people don't know about Ares' powers and some of them know but not in details. So I'm gonna explain everything about him. Now let's start with Ares' origin because always origin is first. So we never saw Ares as a child in God of War game. So we are only gonna talk about how he appeared in the game. So first he appeared in the game God of War 1. But if we talk about chronological sense, then we can see that he appeared in Ghost of Sparta, where he took Deimos and threw him into the death domain where Thanatos lives. So Thanatos took care of him. You can say he tortured him, but he took good care of him because he was still alive when Kratos came to death domain. And also Deimos died in the end of God of War Ghost of Sparta. And Ares was also dead in God of War Ghost of Sparta. So it was the past. We also see the temple of Ares in the God of War Ghost of Sparta. So we can still see that some temples of Ares and believers still exist. And we can also see a believer of Ares in God of War Ghost of Sparta where we go in the jails of Sparta. So you can see an enemy who is just a human, but he set traps for Kratos like freeing up Perseus lion and many more. And in God of War, where Ares was first shown, we can see that Ares is against Olympus. He wants to destroy Olympus and also Zeus with it. And we are not shown why he wants to do that. Just we know he wants to destroy Olympus. And one of our main goals in God of War 1 was to save Athens and kill Ares. And the biggest mission for Kratos to complete was to retrieve Pandora's box, which was so hard for him. But Ares took Pandora's box from Kratos just by sending his harpies to him. But it's not like Kratos couldn't fight harpies. Kratos was dead because Ares killed him with just a pillar. And because Kratos was mortal at that time, Kratos really died. And if you wanna know why Ares died in one shot, you can see this video because I already explained why he died so easily. And also, Ares appears in God of War 3, but he was dead and it was his remains. Where in God of War 3, when we go to save Gaia, we can say Ares' remains, where Centaur came and ruined our view. So we clearly couldn't see it properly. So when the fans saw it, they were shocked because they didn't expect that Ares will appear again. But it was just his remains and it was buried underground. So yeah, only few people noticed him. Now let's jump to the powers of Ares and what abilities he have. So first we will talk about his weapons, and he has many weapons, literally thousands of weapons because he is the god of war and he carry many weapons. Like I said, thousands of weapons. But we only see some of them, so I'm gonna only tell you about the weapons that we actually saw in God of War 1, or you can say Ghost of Sparta. So let's start. So the most powerful and the most used weapon of Ares is his sword. It's literally like Blade of Olympus, but it's on fire and a different shape and a little bit weaker, just a little bit, because Blade of Olympus is something else. So this sword is surrounded by fire and filled with fire. Everything with fire. And it is also made by fire, but the sachet is by metal. And it's kind of like Blade of Olympus, you can say. But Blade of Olympus is inspired by Ares sword because first appeared Ares sword, then appeared Blade of Olympus. So yeah. And he can throw fire from it and he can attack very heavy damage. Because if Kratos got hit by that sword, Ares could have killed Kratos in one shot. You can see when you die in God of War 2, when you're fighting the Sister of Fates and you die, you can see that Kratos die in one shot by Ares' hit. And that's why it is so strong. And now the second weapon we saw is his hammer. So this hammer is kinda like barbarian hammer but more heavy and more heavy damage dealing. So this is some kind of weapon that has spikes on first side and second side it has a tiger face who breathes fire. Literally fire. And it is also the most annoying weapon that Ares pulls out. Because when we attack and Ares pulls out this hammer, we always get interrupted by that fire. And the second most deadly weapon of Ares is his spider legs, which is on his backs and always ready to fight. And if you saw Spider-Man in the end game, you can see that Spider-Man uses something like that Ares have, and Spider-Man is inspired by that, I think so. And these claws also channels fire and they are bladed. Literally, when Ares attacks, it can also attack and it is also a support for him. He can literally lift himself up with those claws and deal a very heavy damage. And I mean very heavy damage. It can even create earthquakes when he attacks with this. And the most important thing is that he has aimbot. Literally, he can shoot anywhere with aimbot. Because he literally threw a pillar to Kratos when he was in Pandora's temple and he was on the last stage. And there's also a magic ability that Ares have, and that is playing with your memories. He can control your mind and play with your memories, and then you will be dead. That was it about Ares. Now let's jump on to Zeus. So let me be clear, Zeus is the god of lightning and he have everything that he can control with lightning. So let me explain. And Zeus is the king of the gods in God of War game and also the myths. So it is clear that Zeus rules all Olympus, but Ares was against Zeus. Now I explained it before, but there isn't a reason why. But if you see by Ares' perspective, you can easily say that Ares wants Olympus and he wants to rule it. Now, let's talk about Zeus's weapons and abilities. So, in abilities, he can create thunderbolts which are so powerful that it can even kill Kratos or Gaia. And it did. And only Kratos died, not Gaia. But his weapons are so dangerous and godly. The first weapon he have is Blade of Olympus. The Blade of Olympus is the weapon of Zeus and the Gauntlet of Zeus. It is one of Zeus's favorite weapon. And he does not really have that weapon in myths, but he does in God of War game. So we can take it. Zeus literally one-shotted full Titan race with Blade of Olympus, and the Gauntlet of Zeus is holding all of the Titans in the pits of Tartarus. So you can imagine how powerful those weapons are. And some extraordinary abilities that Zeus have are shape-shifting. He can shape-shift into anything, literally anything. A woman, a bird, an animal, a lion, and anything. And he can grab anyone's power and throw it into anyone else, like he did in Colossus of Rhodes, where he put Kratos' powers into Colossus of Rhodes. And Kratos suffered a lot to face him, and you can clearly see Kratos almost died facing the Colossus of Rhodes because it literally stomped him with his hand. And also, let's talk about Zeus' origin because I didn't tell you it in the beginning because I forgot. So, Zeus is the son of Kronos and Rhea. And you know that because I told you earlier. And if you see all of my videos, you should know all older brother of Zeus. And Poseidon is also older than Zeus. So, but he looks like the oldest. And yeah, fun fact. The god of that Thanatos is the oldest Olympian because he is living when the time existed. When the timeline was created, he lives from then to here. And he could have survived if Kratos didn't kill him. Now let's do the showdown between Ares and Zeus. Now let's see. When Ares attacks Zeus with his powerful sword, he will fail because Zeus will easily dodge or he will counterattack by blocking it. And now Ares will almost get defeated by Zeus, but he will use his magic powers and play with Zeus' memories. But it won't work that much time, so easily Zeus will break through. Now, Ares will not easily die. Even if Zeus uses his powerful weapon, Blade of Olympus, Ares also has some powerful weapons like his hammer and his sword. And his claws of Ares will help him a lot because Zeus have 2 hands and Ares will have 8 hands. Literally 8 hands. But still, because Zeus is the king of Olympus, he will get the aid of the gods and defeat Ares. And if you say it is a 1 versus 1, then Ares can win by 60% chance and Zeus can win by a 40% chance because they both are so strong. But Zeus became weak in God of War 2 because Kratos almost killed him. So guys, you can say that Ares can win. Ares! So we can simply say that Ares can win and Zeus can win also. Because Ares will kill Zeus if it's a 1 versus 1. And Zeus will kill Ares if Zeus gets help of the gods. So guys, that was it for today. मेरे हाथ में 20 की नोट टिक रही ना guys. That was it for today. And comment what you want to see in the next video. Until then.